If the subtitles are too fast, please slow down the video playback speed. Hello, this is Kim Ant. This is the final stage of building your foundation. Shall we give it our best and get started? Kim Ant's Notes. Part 4. Realistic Drawing. Anyone can learn easily. Once people start drawing, one of the most fascinating things to them is realistic expression. I also used to draw only plaster casts, and when I first encountered realistic drawings, I still can't forget the shock I felt. How could someone draw like this with just pencils? I couldn't even imagine the process behind it, and I didn't dare think I could draw it myself. It felt like something from another world. Still, as someone who had practiced drawing for years, I wanted to try it at least once. The first thing I could do was simply copy what I saw. Because I had practiced plaster drawing for years, I had an eye for judging forms, skill with pencils, and perseverance. Without any special method, I copied the forms as they were, copied the tones as they were, and spent endless hours sitting there until it worked. Looking at the works of foreign artists I admired, I kept thinking, someday I'll be able to do this too, as I continued drawing piece after piece. My drawings started to look more realistic than before. Couldn't I make them even more realistic? I became focused only on expression. After 1 or 2 years, my drawings began to resemble black and white photographs. It was enough to make me believe that I had become truly skilled. But people's reactions to my drawings were very divided. Among the negative reactions, many people said, "There's already a camera, so why bother copying it by hand?" At first, I felt upset because it seemed like all my effort was being overlooked. But eventually, I began thinking deeply about why people felt that way. And I reached one conclusion. I thought I was interpreting while drawing, but in reality, I was being led around by the reference itself. Honestly, I had always felt that somewhere inside. Watching hyper-realistic drawing processes, where artists divided images into grids one square at a time, completed small sections individually, or used projectors to draw, I often wondered, what is the meaning of copying like that? Thinking I needed to change the process, I practiced using a full circulation method like plaster drawing. But in the final stages, I still found myself being dragged back to the reference just to achieve a realistic appearance. As a result, I think those works were difficult for everyone to truly connect with. I realized that with these hyper-realistic processes, it was impossible to escape the perception of simply copying. And once you become accustomed to that approach, it no longer brings major growth even to yourself. My expressive skills improved, but I was often labeled as just a technician. Of course, even that was not easy. So I decided to fundamentally improve the method itself and transform realistic drawing from mere copying into reconstructing reality through realistic interpretation. That was the decision I made. Instead of being controlled by references, the artist should become the subject. References should be used only as tools for guidance. Rather than thinking, how can I draw more realistically? I shifted my direction toward, how can I interpret things realistically? And through that process, I was able to discover clear evidence and reasoning in many areas. Those discoveries gave me greater confidence in drawing. The process I built from that turned out to be extremely effective. Even complete beginners who visited my studio were able to quickly understand and apply it, and they produced many great results. Expressive skill naturally improves over time if you continue practicing with perseverance. But developing interpretation and planning through observation is something that often requires luck to realize. I was fortunate. For you, I will teach you a comparatively easy process for learning how to draw. I organized this welcome chapter around core concepts, and you all worked hard throughout these 4 parts. The changes in perspective within this chapter will definitely lead to changes in your drawings. In the next session, we will move into the observation stage. Thank you.